conducted their ways through tactics such as wiretapping and other ways of keeping tabs on the citizens. They would, it's mostly secret stuff, and they kept lots of records over what they did. And here we have some of the Stasi leaders. Erich Fritz Emil Mielke was one of the leading members of the Stasi for a long time. He is considered one of the worst perpetrators of everything, and the Stasi under his rule is considered worse than the Gestapo of Nazi Germany. Here we have Wilhelm Zeisser, who was another leading member of the Stasi. He was actually the first leader of the Stasi, and he founded it. And we also have Ernst Friedrich Vollweber, who was another founder of the Stasi, who conducted these things towards the citizens.
And then another one we wrote about is specifically focusing on how they affected individuals, and we got the opportunity to meet a family who went through something that had to do with the Stasi. They specifically spied on them, and they actually later on in life they found out that they were being spied on. So they actually went, and there's an archive that you can go to, and it's still open today, and you can find your records that they kept from you about you and people who spied on you, and they wrote notes about you and then turned them into whoever the higher up was. So this husband and wife couple, they just spoke to us explaining how they felt really betrayed. Like, for example, the husband, it was one of his ex-girlfriends, and then another one was someone that he worked with. So you didn't know who was spying on you, who you can trust, who your friends really were, because they could be working with someone else, and of course it could be for various reasons, for money, because they were forced to, because they themselves could get in trouble. So there was a lot of other reasons, but specifically this family was affected by the Stasi and had to deal with the repercussions because they chose to raise their children in a Christian environment and do something other than what they were being told to do. So because they went against that, they were being spied on.
And there's a lot of memorials and exhibits that exist today about the Stasi. And one memorial is Hohenschönhausen, which is the previous Stasi prison. And anybody that was held there was basically anybody who was seen as an agitator to the GDR. We actually met with one guy who was he printed flyers on a kid's printing press about the Prague Spring, and just because he printed flyers that basically told everybody to stay awake and not let the government control your minds, he was in prison for 2 years in some pretty terrible conditions. In the 50s, there was they had really poor conditions with dark, damp cells and just a bed and a bucket to the room with several people. But when he was there, it had improved a little bit, where the living conditions were slightly better, but they had to improve their psychological measures to get to the inmates. So he endured all that. And then another exhibit that's around is the Runde Ecke, which is the round corner. It's called that because it's a roundish building on a corner street. And it was the Leipzig headquarters for the Stasi. And basically in there you can see a lot of things how people wore disguises to get closer to people, and the different surveillance methods they used. And on our site there's a virtual tour that we link to, so you guys can check it out.